Welcome everyone to this Spring tutorial. So in this tutorial, we will create a Spring Boot application using Spring Security and JWT and MongoDB. So in the last tutorial, we have created a simple Spring Boot and Spring Security project. So we have created two endpoints. The first endpoint is for subscription. Here we'll try to subscribe the client. So we try to save the client in the Mongo database using the user repository. And the other endpoint is for authentication. Here we'll try to authenticate the client using the authentication manager. So in this project, I have created 4 models. The first model is authentication request. I'm using this model here for my 2 endpoints. The other model is authentication response that I am using in my 2 endpoints. Just here. The user model is the model that I use in the Mongo database. User repository is to save and retrieve users in Mongo database. So I have also created user service. The user service implements user details service, and he will try to load the user by username. So here I am using the user repository to try to find the user by its username. And I have done some configuration in this class, security configuration. So here I am telling Spring Security if you want to handle some authentication, you have to use user service just here. And this user service will use load this method. And I have also add some configuration here. For example, I am telling Spring Security to not encode my password. Here I am using the bin for my authentication manager. And here I am disabling Spring Security for my 2 endpoints, subscription and authentication. And that's all for the project. So if you want the complete project, you have to go on the last tutorial. So before beginning JWT, let's test this project. So start. Let's share. So my MongoDB is already started on localhost. So here I have my postman, my 2 endpoint to authenticate and here for subscribe user. And here my Mongo database. So for example, here in the user DB, so I can show you the configuration of. So here, that's the configuration of my Mongo database. So I'm using user DB, just here. So here, the collection user is empty. It's begin. I will try to reopen Robot3T. Connect. You can do this. So here I have my database, my collection, and my collection is empty. So first of all, I will use my first endpoint to subscribe user. So in the subscription, for example, I want to subscribe Mad Max, and the password will be Max. Send. So here the response is successful subscription for the client Mad Max. So let's try to authenticate this user using authentication manager. So here Mad Max. So here in the first time I want to put the right password. So send error during client authentication. And if I use the right password, just here, Max send successful authentication. And here, if I refresh my database, so here I have my user. I can try to subscribe another user, Clementine. and here Clem. Subscribe. Successful. So here I have my second user, Clementine. Then here I will try to authenticate the Clementine girl, and here successful authentication for client Clementine. So my project is working good right now. So now we'll begin by using JWT. So first of all, I have to add some dependency to my project. So I will stop my project. Then I will go just here. Then I will add a new dependency. It's IO JSON web token to be able to use some JWT utilities. So it's built in here. Then I will need some JWT utility class. So I have put the class just here. So we'll change. So here com demo utils. So I have to create this project. And here I have my JWT utils. So everything every function handling JWT token will be here in this class. For example, I will need to generate the JWT token. For this, I will need the user details. And I will need to validate the token. And to create the token, I will use this method. In here, JWTs is from the dependency that I have just added. And if you are curious, you can go here to read documentation, official documentation about JWT utils. So here, for example, when I want to create the JWT token, I can pass some claims. So claims, I can pass anything to my claims. If I need some data for my project, for my use case, I can add them to the claims, to the map. Then I can use them afterwards. So here, JWTs builder set claims. So here we are setting some claims. So the subject will be the user, and set issued at. So here we are setting the expiration date. For example, here the expiration will be about 10 hours. So 10 hours. Then after, I will sign my JWT token with this algorithm just here. So there is many algorithms that you can use, but I'm not expert in this field. And you are signing the JWT token with a secret key. For example, here is secret, but in a real world application, you have to use some more complex secret string, and you have to store your secret key in on another server, but not in the class like that. It's not secure. So here we have other method to extract claims, to extract username, extract expiration date, and to test if the token is expired or not. So now we have to create a JWT filter request. So here, new class. So here, JWT filter request. Here. So here I have to extend once per request filter. That's here, and I have to implement this method. So in this method, for example, you have seen in the configuration that those both of those endpoints will won't be handled by Spring Security, but any other endpoint will be handled by Spring Security. So we have to pass the JWT token to any other endpoint. So here I have my request just here. So first of all, I have to get header of my request. So here get header, and my header will be authorization like this. So here I can name my header authorization header, for example. So here I will have a username equal to null and another string, password equal to null. So now I will try to retrieve the JWT token from the authorization header. So first of all, I have to check that my authorization header is not null, and my authorization header must be starting with bearer, then space. So in this case, I know that there is a JWT token in my header. So I will substring the authorization header. I will put 7 because there is 7 character here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's why in here that will be the JWT token. And now I will use my utility class, JWT utils. So here I can put this class just here. So private JWT, and here JWT utils. So my util class must be auto-wired, of course, and I have to import my JWT class. So now I will extract the username. So extract username from my JWT token. So the username is here. So now the username will be equal to the username extracted from JWT. So once we have done that, I have to check that the username is present, so is not null. And I have also to check the context of my security context. Security context holder, get context, get authentication must be null. So we won't override Spring Security context. So in this case, I have to use user service. So where is my user service? It's here. I will go here. So here my user service, I will try to load the user details. So load username by username, and the result will be user details. So current user details. After that, I have to use the JWT utils to validate my token. So here JWT utils, and I will try to validate the token. So he's taken in the method the token and the user details. So here I have my current user details just here, and the JWT token is just here. Then I can put this create local variable JWT token. I have to put this outside of the scope. So now we are good. So here the result will be boolean token validated. So now if the token is validated, if token validated, so now I will build a new username password authentication token. So new username password authentication token. Let's share. So the principal will be the user details containing the data about the user. That's here, user details. And for the credential I will put null. So now we have built the user password authentication token, and now I have to take this username password authentication token and set some details. So set details. So now new web authentication detail source just here. Then I will use this method build details request. So now we are good. So here if the token is validated, we are doing this. And I don't have to forget one stuff, is that we have to set the context of Spring Security with these current user details. So I can get authentication just here. So now it will be set authentication, and here it will be the user password authentication token. Let's share. And after all that, we have to tell Spring that he can continue the chain of his filter. So filter chain do filter request response, and that's all for my JWT request filter. So I can delete this. So here every time I will receive a request from two other endpoint than those endpoint, subscribe and authenticate, if it's another endpoint, I will try to get the header, then to get the authorization header. Here I will check if my authorization header is starting with the bearer. So I will retrieve the token from this header. Then I am using JWT utils to extract the username from the JWT token. So if the username is present and there is no current context in my Spring Security, so I will try to build a new Spring Security context just here, and to set the authentication with the user present in the JWT token. So now I have to go in security configuration, because for now I have created this JWT filter request, but we are not using it yet. to use it, I have to go here. So here I have to auto-wire my JWT filter request. That's here. Here I have to import my JWT filter request. And here I have to tell HTTP security to add filter before. So here I have to put my JWT filter request, and here the user. So here the other filter will be username, password, authentication filter. Let's share. So we are good for the configuration of this filter just here. So now I have to go to my endpoint. So in the first project, the simple Spring Security project, the authentication was very simple. Here we are trying to authenticate the user with Authentication Manager. And if it's if the user is authenticated, we are returning this response. But we can't do that in we can't just do that in a real world application, because imagine how can you trust your user? For example, once this user, once Clementine is successful authentication just here. So imagine that the Clementine is on the dashboard application. If Clementine send another request, for example, to get some product, how can we know that it's Clementine that is sending the request? With the simple application project, we can't know that. We can know that using session or JWT token. So I didn't talk about session in my tutorial. Maybe I will talk about it in another tutorial. But now we'll see how to do that with JWT token. So here I have to return a JWT token. So here I have to use user service. So user service is just here. So here, once the authentication is successful with MongoDB, once we found the user in the MongoDB, so we are sure that the user exists. So now we'll try to load the user by its username. So here loaded user, and now I have to use the utility class. So here I have to auto-wire the utility class. Let's here pub. And here I will extract the JWT. I will generate the JWT using my user details of my current user. So here loaded user. So here I have the generated token that I can use in my response just here. So generated token, and I will delete this. So imagine it's a real world application. Once the user is authenticated in the authentication page, will return JWT token, so we can use the JWT token in any other request, and in any other request we can know which user is connecting. So now I think that's all. I will start my project now. So it is not happy about JWT request filter. So my JWT request filter is just here. But I forgot the annotation component. So now I am starting my project. Sure. So my project is started now, and I will try to authenticate present user in the Mongo database, because the essential all the stuff about Mongo database, we did that in the last tutorial. So in this tutorial it's focused on JWT token. So here I will send, and here I have my response, and this is my JWT token. So I can use this on any other request. So let's try to add another endpoint. So the other endpoint will be a simple stuff. So get my pin. So here test token, or just test. So here we return a simple string, testing token. So I want to put anything in the signature of my method, and here I will return successful test, or welcome to the dashboard. That's more real world. And here the endpoint will be dashboard. So let's try to call this endpoint without the JWT token. So here it will be a get. So here rename test JWT token. So here the endpoint is dashboard. So let's test this. First request, and the access is denied, it's forbidden, 403, because we are using Spring Security and we cannot call a request just like that. Because why the access is denied? Because if you go to the security configuration, So here is the main class of the Spring Security. So here any request have to pass those filters. So now let's put our header. So header, here the header will be authorization, and the value must be bigger than the JWT token. Let's here. Don't forget the space between bearer and the JWT token. Send, and now I have an error. JWT signature don't match what we have locally. Okay, what does that mean? Cannot be accepted. It should not be trusted. I don't know why. So here in my JWT utils, I will try to use a simple secret. So simple. I will start my application here, and I will try to authenticate another user. So where is my MongoDB? Just here. So madmax, and the password will be mad or max. I think the error that I have taken the JWT and the stuff just here. So now I am authenticating madmax. Send. So here I have my JWT token. I will send JWT token. So here in my test endpoint, I will put my JWT token. And now it's not working yet. So the response is just here. The authorization is right, and here it's my JWT token. And for I will try to authenticate Clementine. Send. Then I have my JWT just here. I will go to my test request, use my JWT, send, and it's forbidden. So I have to do some debugging. Send. So it's not in debug mode, so I will start the project in debug mode. So send. So now I will do some debugging. So here my authorization header is just here. So my JWT is right. I have extracted my username here. So now he's trying to load the user from MongoDB. So my user is just here. The token is validated. So everything is doing good. I don't see the problem. So send. So what's the problem? Forbidden access denied. So now I don't see where is my problem. The secret key is present. Here all what I'm doing is doing well. Set authentication username authentication token. So here my security configuration is configured well. I don't know if I have to add some stuff to tell Spring add filter before username password authentication filter. So I think I forgot one stuff in the configuration. So security configuration, session management, but I don't think this is the problem. So here in my security configuration, I will add this. So here authenticated, and I don't know if it's about session management. So now I am telling Spring that the session management must be stateless. So now send. So that it's not the problem. I have to find this fucking problem. So here, if the token is validated, I'm doing all those stuff. Okay. But here, username authentication token. Here, username authentication token. User details get authorities. But I don't think that is the problem. Okay. So we restart my application. Error. What kind of error? Sorry guys about these bugs, but it's part of programming, and this is not just a tutorial about Spring security but about debugging too. So here, dashboard, send, and now it's working. Fuck, that was the problem. I have built the user password authentication token without authorities, because here we have two constructors, one with authorities and another one without authorities. So I think that I am not using authorities now, so I won't use this constructor. But now I know that I have to use this constructor. So it's working now. That's good news. So here the dashboard, we have welcome to the dashboard with the authentication user. We can do another stuff. So if you go here, authentication request, security, get context. So authentication endpoint. So here you can do welcome to the dashboard, and here I can do this, get context, get authentication, get name, for example. So here send, and here the name is Clementine, because the current context of Spring security is retrieved from the JWT token. So here, for example, for Mad Max, so here Mad Max, my best friend. So here I will take this JWT token, and here in my endpoint I will put this token, send, and here welcome to the dashboard Mad Max. So now it's working. So thank you for watching. That was a very complete tutorial with Spring Security, JWT, and Mongo database. So for example, here we have all the endpoint to build some real world application with React, for example. So we'll have a page with authentication endpoint. The user will be authenticated, and every request called from the dashboard will be called with the header, bearer, and the JWT token. So we know who is the current user, so we can retrieve some products from the Mongo database and information related to the user. So thank you for watching, and sorry for the debugging, because there was some problem on this tutorial, but it's working in the end, and that is the most important. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next tutorial, and don't hesitate to subscribe. Thank you.